Hello everyone, and welcome to one of the most impact-driven startup events in Lithuania this summer. My name is Šarūnė. I'm the head of ROCKIT, the home of Fintech and sustainable innovation. And today it's my honor to invite all of you to celebrate together with us the end of a beautiful, intensive, and really sustainability-driven ROCKIT Impact Accelerator program. This program was a really great learning curve about sustainability and impactful partnerships, not only for the program participants, but for the innovators community as a whole.
And I'm Arvydas Plėta, innovation partner at Catalysta Ventures. Catalysta Ventures is the first Baltic triple top-line hybrid startup accelerator and also private fund. You know, when we started ROCKIT Impact Accelerator, we thought that that's a pilot project and we wanted to test small startups and the ideas with Lithuanian corporates. But what we saw exceeded our expectations, actually. We collected 5 startups from whole Europe and we brought some innovative ideas and different concepts here to test in Lithuania. So welcome everyone who watch us via live stream and also the investors who joined us via Zoom. So welcome everyone, and with Šarūnė, we will lead you through this journey today.
Yeah, so today we are having a very diverse crowd and hopefully all of you will get engaged and excited about what are you going to see. But to give you more information about what was the program. So before we were launching this program, we realized that we want to raise ambitious goals. And when everybody's in the market is asking for those real case studies and telling, show us the startups that can be sustainable and profitable, our goal and ambition was to prove that sustainability can be a business and startups working in this industry can be very prominent. That's why we were very closely and intensely working to prove that. As well, working towards partnerships that accelerate growth and stimulate innovation in a higher scale were on the top of our agenda.
And in 4 months, we managed both. First of all, we did pilots, which usually kind of accelerated pilots, which usually take years. And the second of all, we proved that sustainability, it's not only PR and marketing, that actually brings business value. And as one of our customers says, he said, like, okay, I believe that all the sustainability projects will generate lots of costs, but actually it didn't generate costs for some of them. It just kind of gained some profits so straight away. So that's great news we have.
And also, I would like to invite our fellow colleague, our inspiration and a driving force behind ROCKIT Impact Accelerator. So that's Ekaterina Bitus to share her welcome words and wish all the best for the startups in their pitches. Welcome, Ekaterina.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Šarūnė. I'm so happy to share my welcome words today. It's been a year already since we started to work on a program. It's so exciting that the day when we can share our achievements has finally come. I'm happy to welcome our startups. You did a great job. It was exciting, but at the same time, tense 4-month journey. I truly support Arvydas saying that it exceeded our expectations. You showed very professional approach. Great ability to work and cooperate with corporate partners, your dedication, and what is as well very much important, positive vibes. Despite all pandemic struggles, distances, and extreme time zone differences, I'm confident and proud for your pitches today. I do not need to wish you break a leg or something like that. I'm happy to welcome investors watching our live stream. Thank you for your time. You're just about to be impressed. And your intuition, so your emotional and rational parts, will be gossiping into your ear. Hey, you need to be the part of this. I'm happy to welcome our partners. It wouldn't be possible without your support, your mentoring, input, and time invested into the project. You had a very great opportunity and chance to bring real business challenges to the program. But I'm happy to see that on the top of that, you're learning from startups how to motivate creativity and innovation in your own teams. And some of you already see the broader perspective for potential cooperation beyond the piloting projects. I was rehearsing my speech in front of my teenage daughter at home. You know the trick when you need to be understood, you better explain it to your own child, right? So I've asked her, is something missing in my speech? And she asked me back, do you understand well that the results are perfect and nice? Yes, sure, I've said. Then you need to tell them that you should continue and support each other. I couldn't agree more. Let's continue, let's support, and let's inspire others to join.
Thank you, Ekaterina. And it was really great speech. So I guess, we couldn't expect better welcome here. So thank you a lot. And yeah, and probably the best way would be to continue. We have a saying in Lithuania, like, it's better to see one time than to hear 100 times. So we have a small, short video in which we can show how the acceleration process went. So please watch it with us.
ROCKIT Impact Accelerator was a real powerhouse, even though we made it in a semi-online format. We gathered mentors, speakers, and participants, reaching from the Silicon Valley to Australia. All of them were sharing their knowledge, their best sustainability practices, and making a direct local impact for tech and business community here in Lithuania.
Startup scouting for the ROCKIT Impact Accelerator was definitely not the easiest thing. Scouting for startups that are scalable and impactful is one thing. Scouting for startups that are scalable, impactful, and are also a perfect match to a pilot partner, that's a totally different ballgame. Having done multiple calls, meetings, strategy sessions on all ends, on a startup end, on a partner end, and for all of them together, we have generated 5 amazing pilot partnerships that had amazing results.
Our partners use the possibility to test new ideas in a very fast way. Usually, external partnerships takes years, and we had only 4 months. The second that, also our partners engaged with sustainability, with innovation. We had possibility to use new technologies, to learn new things from the startups. And to add even more, they also use the possibility to engage and involve the employees into the acceleration activities. And so all in all, what I really hope that our partners will continue the path of sustainable innovation and will join our future acceleration program.
It gives great access to a huge network and also helps you to explore the things that you've never thought about. And I think that's a really, really great learning curve. It puts you in perspective of the whole startup environment. It helps you understand the scope, first of all, and secondly, it helps you grow as a person too.
With sustainability still being a pretty new topic to our market, everyone is looking and asking on how innovation and businesses can be made by thinking about your own positive impact first. And we managed to prove that's possible. Arvydas, you have been one of the chief mentors in this accelerator program. Also, you have a vast experience in different accelerators and impact programs. So can you share with us your first-hand experience, how it felt from the inside, as well, what are the key highlights?
Sure. So, Sharuna, every accelerator wants to distinguish themselves because there are many of them. And for two reasons. First of all, they want to attract the best startups. And the second of all, they want to attract also best investors, which can back up accelerator and invest further and help startups to grow. And here we even have two reasons probably, and two kind of distinguished items. First of all is impact, and the second one is B2B pilots. And it all squares very well into actually one triple top line strategy. So positive impact on people, planet, and profit. And let us show some proof points about it. So first of all, let's talk about people. And in that sense, first of all, probably we can mention how many mentoring hours and minutes we had. And I understand that it's not about the quantity, it's all about quality. But as we had all top-notch mentors from all over the world, this kind of time spent here means kind of really quality time. The second of all, usually in accelerators you touch all the business topics, and it's all about grow your business. Here we managed to balance business and sustainability and actually make it equal, and that even make our startup stronger and our program stronger. And the second pillar, it's planet, and we had a hybrid accelerator here, so most of the activities were online. But in reality, still we see that we kind of produce some CO2 here, so we have an impact, and we measured that impact, and that equals to the trip for one person from Vilnius to New York. Good news, we offset that footprint 200%, and we have a planet positive accelerator, one of the first ones in the region. And the last thing is profit, definitely, that's also very important. Usually investors are asking, is these startups are valid? What kind of proof points you have? Is it the right problem we're solving? So all the answers we have here. 5 startups work with 5 real corporates, solving 5 real problems. You have 5 pilots, so it's proof points. And so for my dear investors, here you see startups which you can trust. So this is the main agenda. And we can go then through to start with pitching, but before the pitching starts, we need to introduce our jury members,
And as well, Arvydas, before we move on, I would like to take time and thank for our lovely partners that have been with us throughout this journey. They delivered their challenges. That wasn't the easiest thing to do, to think of one and give it away for startups to solve. So from our organizers' end, we would like to thank Telia, Linas Agro, TeleSoftas, Swedbank, and Elektrum. I thought that will sound like, very important moment to share. So so we have 5 partners, and as well we have our industry partner, which was Oracle. So thank you once again, and we hope you will enjoy our startup pitches and see what they have achieved so far.
Yeah, and I can't agree more. And usually when we say partners during the accelerator, we saw kind of some organizations we just kind of give some money or do some kind of mentoring, but here we had real challenges, real industry leaders, and that's super great. So thank you, partners. And let's come back to the jury members. And the first one I want to present is Gleb Maltsev from Estonia. And he is a pitching guru, and actually how he calls himself, it's data-driven pitch coach, and which is amazing. And even more amazing, Gleb, that you're from Estonia, and Estonia have so many unicorns. So I just believe that you did some kind of great work to make it happen, isn't it? And I have a question for you, Gleb. So you've met already with startups before. So do you see any potential for them to become impact unicorns as well?
Thank you very much. I appreciate the very warm introduction in this sense. Short answer, guys. You guys done a lot of work in terms of filtering them, so we already got 5 nuggets. So the truth about the matter is that at this stage, it's very difficult to say whether it's going to go up, down, sideways. It's just so much randomness in this business. And it comes down to relationships. So I will be looking at scaling potential very closely. I'm going to be looking at what the teams have achieved since I last saw them, for instance. And I will be looking at the team very, very closely. That would be my personal take on it. Estonia has been doing really, really well, and I've been maybe a very, very small part of it. I did train some really good companies, but a lot of them also raised without my existence. So, but I do get to see some high quality teams. And I think you guys picked a really good batch, and I'm looking forward to hearing once again, older pitches, once again how much they progressed, and maybe leading a few numbers and talking to my fellow jury members. So I chew for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Gleb.
Amazing, thank you. So the next jury on the panel is Rick Rasmussen. He's a Silicon Valley native with a diverse experience in business, academia, venture capital. So a really man with many hats. He has been in executive teams in 3 separate companies that started with 0 revenue, successfully raised with leading VC funds, went up to Fortune 500 companies and sold them for joint value of $12 billion US. So as well, Rick was our first mentor to join ROCKIT Impact Accelerator back in March. And it's really amazing to see him come back and judge and vote on the final demo date. So welcome, Rick.
Well, thank you. It's really a pleasure being back. It was exciting to help you choose companies and work through the initial issues and compare notes, and I haven't seen them since. And so the ability to actually circle back and see what you've done and how they've improved and so on, I'm super excited about this. So thank you for having me.
Amazing. And you were the first mentor on the block, right? So what was your impression when you joined ROCKIT Impact Accelerator and saw those freshly selected startups?
Yeah, well, the reason I was first mentor is because Arvidas and I have a good relationship with the European Innovation Academy, and I understand that's sort of a common thread through some of the judges as well. So that's a program where we end up bringing students in and forming 100 startups in a program in 3 weeks. So those same principles we're trying to apply here on all the fundamentals, problem solution fit and product market fit and everything else. And so I'm looking forward to judging them really on the fundamentals, how they've come along and the impact that they're going to have on the world. So again, excited to be here. Thanks.
Great to have you back.
Amazing, Rick. And the third jury member we want to present is Luisa. He had a YRX accelerator run by Telefonica. And she definitely knows what it takes to run a corporate accelerator and for sure knows how to secure the best long-lasting B2B partnership. And you know, Luisa, just for the starting point, maybe you can say one secret, so what it takes to have a successful partnership between startup and a corporate.
Well, hi everyone. First of all, thank you for having me. And it's a really good question, and I think there is no secret sauce, but entrepreneurs really need to work really hard for it and have a lot of patience, because corporates in many cases are really big institutions, and we have our own timings, procedures, and so on, and not all the time our timing matches with the timings for these startups. So it's very, very important, to have a good understanding on the player that is on the other side of the table, know about their timings, the way they work, and to find a good internal sponsor to be able to guide you through the organization and not to die, on the process. That's very important.
Thank you, Luisa. Thank you for being with us here.
So last but not least, jury on the panel is Douglas Wong. And he is experienced impact investor, and we're super happy to have him here. He has over 30 years of experience across different sectors, starting from computer hardware to education. Also, Douglas was ex-CFO for Apple, for CE, and as well he founded multiple ventures with successful exits with 3 of them. So welcome, Douglas.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And it's always very interesting to ask impact investors. So what impact means for you and what actually you are looking for in the startups?
In the end, not necessarily other types of companies per se, philosophy. Am I connected? Did you hear that? There?
We do not hear you clearly.
Am I still there?
Yeah, you're still there. Maybe let's try one more time.
Is this better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that impact companies are not unlike other companies. Obviously, they have a philosophical background in impact, but in the end, they are companies. So they do have to succeed from a management point of view, financial point of view, as well as a product point of view. And that's what I'm looking for in most companies, this roadmap to succeed.
Great. So a CFO always looking into the numbers as well. Great. So thank you for all our juries. Today you'll have a very important task to do, as we have selected 5 categories in which we want our startups to be voted and later on awarded. So those categories are, we will select the most scalable startup, the most impactful startup, the most disruptive one. As well, we have 2 categories for selecting the best product and, of course, the best pilot project of the whole program. And today, even though we have a set of investors joining us on the Zoom platform and who later on will have a perfect chance to meet our startups on private meetings, we invite all of our audience to become investors yourselves, at least for this event. So please either scan a QR code or go to menti.com and enter the code provided below, which is 4998. And 0653, and there you will have some intriguing questions about your investment choices, and what is more, after the end of our event we will nominate and award our most favorable startup that will be judged by you.
And you know, all the pitches have some rules, and we will have them as well today. So first of all the pitches will kind of last like 4 minutes, and after 4 minutes, all the startups, you will hear a signal, like signalizing that you kind of are short of time already. Also, we'll have 6 minutes for questions and answers, and then we will ask jury to provide this kind of questions. For jury members, we will ask you to raise hands. I mean, like that, physically, without clicking any buttons. It will be easier for us to see it, and then we can, ask you to ask this question. And for the investors who are joining here via Zoom, you will have an availability to have speed dating session just after the pitching. So keep all your questions, and you will be able to ask them just after the pitching. So
great.
Let's start.
So before we start, go to menti.com and join us and make your investment decisions with your virtual money. And let's kick it off with the pitches. So the first to pitch, it's Earthbanc from Sweden and the company CEO, Tom Duncan. Earthbanc is paving the way for more sustainable finance, and the team has recently been awarded as a winner of the MasterCard Lighthouse Spring 2021 program. So congratulations, first of all, and welcome, Tom.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's an absolute pleasure to be part of the ROCKIT Impact Accelerator. What an experience. Such great partners, such great team.
Amazing. So please share your slides for us to see them on the screen, and your 4 minutes will start.
Okay. Just checking everyone can see the slides. Yeah?
Yes, we do see the slides.
Okay, great. So my name is Tom, and I'm the CEO at Earthbanc. We use deep tech to deliver automated carbon and ESG reporting for exponential carbon offsetting and sustainable lending growth. So where are we at? The Paris Agreement requires 23 trillion euros of sustainable finance to reach the 1.5 degree goal. And Europe's ambition to decarbonize is clear. But there's a finance gap of 2 to 4 trillion euros per year. And banks are feeling the pressure. They need to significantly decrease lending to polluters and avoid fines of up to 10% of total revenue for lack of ESG reporting or inaccuracies. Sustainable finance is growing, but banks don't have the necessary local ESG data or APIs to scale sustainable loans and bonds to bridge the 23 trillion euro gap. That's why we started Earthbanc, with a team experienced in fintech, sustainable finance, and data science. Our solution is Earthbanc's Sustainable Finance API and SDK. It delivers automated loan and investment ESG reporting and compliance using open banking, IoT, and AI, and even satellites. And we give weekly sustainable loan suggestions to bank lending units, which we monitor ongoing, and then we aggregate the loans and suggestions for digital issuance of clients' sustainable bonds as an end-to-end compliance and issuance solution that usually takes 4 companies to do what we do. We give weekly sustainable loan suggestions to bank lending units, which we monitor ongoing, and then we aggregate the loans and suggestions for digital issuance of client sustainable bonds. Our proprietary ESG credit risk score is very unique, providing the required data to power sustainable finance decisions and reporting. And we generate automated ESG disclosure reports for sustainable bond compliance and then complete the issuance process digitally. And this is a world first. Earthbanc delivers a triple top line positive impact for banks, customers, business, and the planet. Imagine issuing a sustainable bond with the click of a button. Our world-first product enables banks to overcome the ESG data gap, which in turn enables banks to bridge the 23 trillion euro gap. We save banks time and money by cutting ESG documentation from up to 2 years down to 2 weeks and reduce bond issuance costs by 10-fold, as proven in 2020 when we issued a pilot digital green bond on LB Chain, a blockchain hosted by the Central Bank of Lithuania. A similar 10x cost reduction has been spoken about by HSBC in their sustainability report. Our business model is a software as a service and API monthly fees, and we project 5% market share of the 6,000 banks and 5,000 asset managers in the EU market. Now, securing just a small percentage of the total Paris Agreement bonds issuance, compliance and monitoring market is a 23 billion euro opportunity. With an average ticket size of 500 million euro per sustainable bond, a 0.01% fee for issuance and compliance creates a 500,000 euro revenue per issuance. Our company is growing. We're doing a pilot with Swedbank to provide automated carbon reporting for businesses. And with the African Development Bank, we delivered climate finance solutions. And they recently won the Multilateral Bank Institution of 2021. We're venture backed by the European Space Agency for our patent pending AI for carbon, forest and agriculture monitoring. And we're also backed by impact VCs, bank executives. And we won the MasterCard Lighthouse Finnative program of 2021 as the top fintech in the Nordics and Baltics this year. We're inviting investors to grow with us, and we're raising a 3 million euro round to reach our ambitious growth targets. Thank you for your time. I'm Tom, and this is Earthbanc.
Thank you, Tom, for your master pitch. Also, thank you very much for joining us in such a late night from sunny Australia. Hopefully that wasn't too much of a burden for you. So we're here to welcome our jury questions. Raise a hand who want to be the first one.
You see Louisa, probably.
Louisa.
Yeah, hi everyone. Tom, first of all, congratulations for your pitch and your company. It's pretty impressive. I would love to know more about your competitors. I think you've mentioned during your pitch there is 5 companies in the world doing something similar. So I would love to know more about what's your secret sauce.
Absolutely. So some of the competitors in the carbon reporting space, could be Plan A, Normative. There's a few others out there in the Nordics markets and in the US. When it comes to ESG reporting, you've got a giant like Refinitiv. They were recently acquired for $27 billion US dollars. In the green bonds issuance space for the reporting, you've got Sustainalytics, recently acquired for about 187 million. Now, I think they're kind of some of the key ones. And then you've got the big 4 who are doing a lot of manual and auditing and reporting, which right now is very expensive and time consuming. So what usually takes you 4 different companies, like a big 4, a Sustainalytics, maybe a Refinitiv, and maybe a carbon and ESG reporting sort of specialist firm to pull it all together for you, we can pull it all together as just one company, one universal API.
Yeah, Gleb, you had a question.
I did. Thank you very much. It seems that you have progressed quite a bit. So I've been looking at your older decks, and the ask was considerably less, and you seemingly are growing your ambition quite a bit. My question is regarding what are your takes on companies like Nordigen who are pushing this open banking API, and how do you see yourself as part of that larger move? Because it seems that you have a focus on sustainability very much, keeping track of that stuff and making sure that the right loan is given to the right companies. But what is, where are you in the context of these bigger kind of takes, these open banking APIs? Would love to get a few of your thoughts. If the question's unclear, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, open banking APIs have revolutionized the way banking and information and data flows work, and indeed credit risk scoring. So what we do is we do tap into the likes of Nordigen and many different open banking API providers. And what we do is we take the data and we then enrich it. And we give it much more meaning and context, very specifically to give it the carbon context, also social and governance and environmental. That's what's currently missing from the open banking API ecosystem, is this extra context. Now, where most carbon and ESG reporting firms stop is that they don't then turn this into insights to power sustainable lending and making an engine for growth inside of a bank. And that's where we're very, very different. We enrich the data much more, and our CTO and our COO are bank veterans who have delivered so many products into banks before. And, you know, we're just really happy to be pioneering this really new space and carving out a niche.
Douglas, go on.
Yeah, a couple of questions here. First of all, just to clarify, you're not underwriting the financial instruments yourself. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You're going to third parties to actually purchase or say recommend various financial instruments. Correct?
We are correct. We work with banks and corporates who are the issuers themselves, but they're using our technology to help automate a lot of the middle and back office functions.
Okay, but don't some of the bigger banks already have some sort of sustainability departments that are exactly doing?
Absolutely, yeah. So for example, in our pilot with Swedbank Lithuania, they have issued at least 6 green bonds for green buildings, which is fantastic. And what, you know, I helped define some of the green building criteria that are now part of green bond issuance for green buildings. Now, one of the things is there's very long lead times. There's a lot of manual work and number crunching, which you get a team of consultants to come in, you outsource a bunch of things to different consultants, and maybe after 2 years, you can issue that green bond. So what we're doing is we're taking in all that data and compressing it down in a matter of weeks, because we're already doing all of the underlying asset ESG reporting to then aggregate it. And so this is where banks can get a 10-fold decrease in cost reduction for the bond issuance. So currently, what banks are paying for bond issuance, and indeed, for example, wind farm developers. There's a 1.5 billion euro wind farm just sitting there because the green bond issuance costs are just too high. It's a complex project. And so there are projects that are stalling in the Green New Deal pipeline because of green bond issuance costs and ongoing compliance with the new SFDR laws, the Sustainable Finance Disclosure Regulation laws. So it's a minefield out there. We help banks navigate that and reduce their costs 10x.
Great.
Thank you.
Rick, you are the last one, but I'm sure you have an intriguing question for Tom.
Well, you spoke mostly about the European regime under the climate, the Paris Accord, and penalties that may come as a result of late reporting or insufficient reporting on ESG data. How does that work with, because I don't know if they have the same penalties, how does that work within other areas that are affected by the Paris Accord, specifically Africa, Asia, places like that? Is that as an effective program?
Yeah, so for example, Singapore has come out very hard and strong on green finance and sustainable finance and have a lot of laws and a lot of massive support. So it's becoming a real green finance hub, and we've been in discussions with several banks there and part of a program there with the central bank. But one thing I may be out of time, but until they cut me off. But the US, I think it's coming. The taxonomy and laws are coming to a lot of the Western nations out there for sure.
Great, thank you.
So thank you very much for the jury, for your questions, and Tom for your pitch. And let's move on to the second one.
Yeah, and I'm super happy to present the second startup, L-Blocks, the startup from Switzerland, representing green energy, renewable energy sector, and they already have a quite impressive traction from cooperating with few leading energy companies in Europe. And this is Yves, CEO and co-founder of L-Blocks. The floor is yours, Yves. So, hi.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a great experience to be part of the ROCKIT Impact Accelerator, and I'm looking forward to pitch the investors today.
For sure. So, we are waiting your slides.
Yeah, bring them up. Ready to go. All right, so L-Blocks is an energy tech company building a renewable energy community web platform where prosumers exchange renewable energy between them and use hydro or wind power assets in order to consume 100% renewable electricity 24/7. So the problems that we solve, focusing on primarily house owners with or yet without PV asset, or the secondary, and we focus on consumers, are firstly, we want to help them to push the energy transition and support zero emission targets. We want to make sure that they consume less energy and that efficiently. We want to make sure they avoid high costs and help them to realize saving potentials. Help them to navigate the intransparent electricity system, and last but not least, to make sure that the excess renewable energy they produce is not wasted. So how are we doing that? So we look at the day and divide that in different intervals. So starting during the night, when there is no own power production, we source energy from nearby local renewable energy assets like wind farms. Then as the sun kicks in, we start to see energy community members with excess productions and others with deficit production. So we start to enable peer-to-peer transactions between them to cover their consumption respectively. Then as the community starts to be fully satisfied, so the consumption is covered, we start to store energy in physical assets. That could be, for example, hydro pump storage facilities. Then as the sun starts to go down, again, we start to see imbalances. So members with positive balance and some with negative, we start to do exchanges again between them. And then later when the sun is down, we take energy from the storage and distribute it in the community. So the value proposition here really is to make sure that there is consumption of local green electricity around the clock, even when the sun is not shining. We make sure that the source of energy is 100% transparent in real time. We unlock tax advantages for energy communities which are made available by regulators increasingly in Europe. We want to make sure that they save money by managing their consumption and unlock new revenue streams, for example, through flexibility pooling. So this is basically a sneak peek into our platform. We have been honored to work on this with different utilities and energy market stakeholders in Europe, and with Elektrum in particular in the context of this accelerator. And we have some very interesting and promising traction in Europe with some active platforms running pilots. We're present in multiple countries. Of course, we're still shaping the product and the value proposition and are doing market tests and interviews on top of that. Yeah, and have some live assets on the platform as well. So the business model really here is to onboard consumers, give them access to the community. They can then immediately start to transact so-called guarantees of origin. But the energy is sold from one party to us, and then we sell that further. So just to make sure that this physical commodity, which electricity is dealt with correctly. And then we give back or sell back the stored energy to the prosumer that actually saved it in the storage facility. All we ask for is to cover our cost for the energy and a small member fee, which is around €5 per month. We have different go-to-market strategies. One of them is B2B2C business model. So we work with utilities, which are then the B in the middle. We're also looking now into having a B2C strategy, so directly accessing end customers in selected markets. And we're recently starting to set up joint ventures with utilities and solar EPCs. So they are basically then bringing the service of installing solar panels and additional material like, for example, electric vehicle chargers, batteries, etc. How we have an impact on sustainability. So we make renewable energy easy and accessible. We make sure that renewable energy...
So, thank you very much. The time's up. 4 minutes are over. And we have to provide equal opportunities for all the startups to pitch in front of the jury. So we are ready for your questions. Who would like to go first?
It's Gleb, I guess.
Gleb?
Yeah, you was the first one, so please.
I'm fast in the trigger finger, so to speak. I have a question specifically about your pilots and the traction. So Elektrum is part of the program, but what have you learned? You mentioned some interviews. And how fast have you learned it? I want to gauge how fast you're moving. So you're talking about solar, wind, hydro, all that. Help me understand. What have you learned?
Yeah, so what we have learned basically is how important the way you frame the questions is important and has a huge impact on the number of or the CTR shares that you get on Google ads, Facebook ads, etc. So, you know, to be honest, the numbers have been a bit disappointing in the tests that we have done with Elektrum. But if I compare that to our project that we are working on in Switzerland, these are extremely promising. So the thing really here that we learn is the small differences in how to frame a value proposition can make a huge difference.
A quick follow-up on that. So is that so it means how long is your sales cycle with these things? Help me, educate me here a little bit. I want to gauge how fast you can move and learn. That's it. Thank you.
So if we want to do a project with a utility, that typically means that we're negotiating and then implementing until we are live on the market anywhere between 6 to 12 months.
Thanks.
Yeah. Douglas?
Yes, I guess you got cut off there, but just a few questions. First of all, how much are you raising?
Yeah, we're looking at 2 million. And this is really to push our go-to-market strategy towards B2C and also looking into establishing joint ventures.
Because that's the second question, because sales and marketing see what your challenges. So how much of that 2 million do you plan to spend on sales and marketing? My question, I guess. Darn it.
Sorry.
What did you hear?
You have been cut off a bit. Your question was which share of that is for marketing and sales?
Is earmarked for sales and marketing purposes? And
I would say
what are your strategies for that?
Yeah, that's 40% to 50% of that will go into marketing and sales.
Okay. And you already have a sales and marketing strategy developed to some extent?
Yes.
Okay. Not much time for more. So, thank you.
Welcome.
Any more questions? Yeah. So I guess let's give a shout for Rick right now. He was last time, so just to have him. So Rick, please.
Sure, thanks. So I understand what you're doing, which is providing 24-hour steady supply of clean energy to prosumers. There's an element of peer-to-peer selection of energy sources. I didn't quite understand that, and how much of that is your value proposition? Is this the key thing that you're doing, or is this 24-hour supply?
Yeah, the key thing that we're doing is the 24-hour energy supply from renewable energy sources. And, the peer-to-peer exchange is just one way to achieve that, or at least partially. So we want to just make sure that these resources that are around are used. And I think it's important also in the marketing. So what we've seen in our interviews and tests is this element of community is generating a lot of traction with end customers.
And just a heads up, at least in the United States, there was just a disaster that happened in Texas during the winter when a big storm rolled through, and there were some peer-to-peer energy sharing companies, and they weren't able to get supply, and prices were jacked up by a factor of 10 and so on. So if I were to take a look at this, we'd basically break that open and see what would happen with your tool under those circumstances.
Thank you, Rick. And Luisa, you also had a question, yeah? So we still have 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you. So I would love to know more about your strategy to scale up your company. You just mentioned your presentation, you are operating in 3 countries. So how are you planning to roll out your company on a global basis?
Yeah, so what is important to know is that in power markets, these are quite strongly regulated, and every country or every power system of every country in Europe is a bit different. So the strategy here is to go for the big markets. That's one thing. And the other thing is technical readiness. So technical readiness means a high penetration of smart grid or smart meter hardware. And that's then the basis where we can set up our service or our product. So the go-to-market strategy is really to look at the biggest markets in Europe, which are Germany, France, and Spain. Then Italy and the Nordics are the most interesting countries in Europe. And I think we want to focus on Europe first and having a good foothold here and grow the business here before we're looking into scaling into other continents, and that would be North America, I guess.
Thank you, Yves, and thank you, Julie, for the questions. So, yeah, another startup we had. So
the next startup to pitch is Datahood, transforming the way we live in the cities. And this startup was the only one out of 5 that was in Vilnius and could actually take part in a part of the on-site program. And as they say themselves, they were really quick in adapting their product. As well, they managed to take the most out of the mentors. So I'm very honored to invite Saulė Petraitytė, a wonderful female founder, to share her pitch. Saulė, can you share your slides? Yeah, we see them on the screen. Ready to go.
Great. Hello, everyone. I'm Saulė, and I'm an architect. For the last 5 years, I've worked to improve our everyday environment in cities. And I realized that cities like Vilnius are strongly centralized, which means that citizens have to travel every day to other parts of the city to meet their daily needs. And businesses tend to open up in city center because they expect here to have a constant flow of various people, which is true. It used to be true for some time. However, today, the majority of people don't live in city center anymore. And I realized that businesses don't have accurate and efficient way to understand where the customers actually are. This is why they choose new locations intuitively and end up in city center. And businesses that do location analysis, they often do it in a very old school ways. They do it like manual people counting, or use outdated national stats, or do surveys, which is a very inefficient process that brings unreliable insights for businesses. So the problem is that today there are no tools that would combine accurate data sets and would produce useful insights for decision makers in businesses that are not data scientists themselves. This is why we're creating Datahood. It is a location intelligence platform that combines data in data library with different data sets about the location that they're interested to. Then it analyzes and intersects those data sets. And in this way, we can produce business insights for example, predicting what could be the best site for the business, or doing marketing analysis based on who lives in the area. So it works by selecting the location that user is interested to, and then analyzing it through various factors, various data sets that user wants to see. It also allows to analyze not only one location, but to compare a few different locations so the user can decide which location could be the best for its performance. So our goal is to be like Google Analytics, just for the physical space. And our main clients are the main actors that form cities. So we started to work from retailers and hospitality services, but we also collaborate with real estate developers and municipal companies. And even if these clients look very different at the first sight, they all look for very similar use cases. So for example, from more accurate marketing strategies to more accurate predictions for what could be the best use of their site, of their current development. And by finding the best location with the least competitors and maximum audience, we can help businesses to increase revenue, efficiency in operations. We can improve brand reputation and customer satisfaction. And our business model today is a monthly based subscription, SaaS. So for a fixed price, we give access to the platform with the primary insights, and then we upsell for more locations or more data sets by the demand of the user. And so far, we realize that it doesn't take much to onboard our first clients. The only thing that is missing today is the platform that they could use themselves. So to prove our concept within these 4 months, we did reports and analysis by ourselves to see where it really goes. And it is very important that with our tools, businesses are not only to increase the revenue and be more profitable, but also they can make positive impact at the neighborhoods that they operate. And during ROCKIT Impact Accelerator, we are very happy that we were able to pilot our tool with Telia's data, which is the biggest telco in the region, and to explore the potential of the human flow for our client, which was analyzing the one particular location in Vilnius. So this is our team. Our core team is united by architectural background. We all met in one institute for advanced architecture in Barcelona. So the product that we create comes really from our hearts to create a tool that would allow cities to be planned better. To sum up, we help locations to perform better by providing hidden opportunities of data, and our goal is to increase quality of life in cities for people. And today we look for data partnerships globally, and we're preparing for pre-seed investment in this autumn. So thank you very much, and I look forward to your questions.
Congratulations, Saula, right on time. So Gleb, you go first.
I'll just get it out of the way. So Marriott, so you work in hospitality, if I understood it correctly. Marriott recently been fined, I think, £18.4 million for the data breach they had, I think, a few years back. This is a massive, like 330 something million accounts have been compromised. I think I'm one of them, just to be honest. So you work with location data, you work with hospitality. I want to hear your take, essentially, because you're pre-seed, you're early on, you might have really good connections, but I'm trying to estimate how you're going to, onboard beyond Telia, which is impressive and all that, very promising. But as you go along, how are you going to get them, onboarded, get them to essentially to trust you, because it's relationship building and all that stuff. If I misunderstood, let me know, please.
This is a very good question, because of course, when we talk about data, first thing that comes in mind is personal data. But in our case, we want to secure the process in a way that we are not asking for personal data. We're not asking where each citizen is traveling from. In Telia's case, for example, we're not asking each person's data. What we ask from companies is completely anonymized and GDPR compliant data, because we don't need personal data. We want to see where the flows of people, where the masses of people. So this comes in terms of human flow data. But of course, there are other data sets, and so far we also onboarded open data sets that are also totally GDPR compliant, and with the positive use cases, we want to show our potential other data providers that it is possible to do it, and it's very valuable for them to do it as well.
Douglas, let's hear your question.
Okay, hopefully my signal holds up this time. Anyway, I'm actually a big fast food fan. If you can't see my belly, but you can kind of imagine. But the fast food industry has actually perfected site analysis. Many decades ago. McDonald's, KFC, Burger King. These guys are experts at site analysis. Starbucks, these guys. And you're in a space that's around the years. What's your USP?
Douglas, it is hard to hear your questions.
Lost me. So anyway.
Douglas, can you repeat the question?
Sorry, the question. So, yes. So your case that's been around for many decades. Oh. Okay, can you know? No.
I can maybe fill in because I had exactly the same thing.
Can you hear me?
So I have friends that set up, do Starbucks location. One of my best friends does Gap location. This capability has been around for a couple decades and more, and using heat maps and other things. Why is this different? What's new? What are you doing that would attract people?
That's my question. Thanks.
Thank you very much for the question. Yes, we also think about this, but our main difference is that we focus on hyperlocal scale. That's why that's probably because we started from urban planning approach, and we're interested in very, very accurate data sets that represent not only the minority of people, but also the majority. That's why we are happy to partner with telcos that represents a majority of people. So accuracy for us is a very important thing. So we can predict, we can do not only predictions, not assumptions, but very, very targeted and exact predictions with very accurate data at local scale. So this is the main difference.
So can you give an example of why that makes a difference, or how that makes a difference?
The scale of the insights.
The hyperlocal aspects that you're talking about. So I'm a facilities planner and I'm trying to put a location somewhere. Why should I use you? What's better?
Because the competitors that you mentioned in States, most often they use data from apps that represents the 1%, for example, of the population, or 2% maximum. When you onboard data sources that are containing data from the majority of people, like in our case, we used telco company, which covers 40% of the land. And if we onboard more telco companies, then you can have way more accurate insights about the location. So it's not only assumption what you could do there, but it's just the quality that increases, and you could be more accurate with your decision.
Thank you.
And also, if I may add, and also our goal is to onboard not only one data set, but to have different intersections of various data sets. So that's also a difference.
Great. Who has Luisa? Yeah, please.
Yeah, hi. I would love to hear more about your fundraising strategy. How much are you planning to raise, and the milestones you are planning to achieve with that money?
Yes, so our plan is to do fundraising in this autumn, and we are fundraising for 300K because we are at a very early stage. And now what we want to achieve is to scale the platform so the users could do it themselves. They could use the platform and generate insights for themselves. So we don't need to do it manually anymore. And so the basic goal is for next year is to scale the platform, which is technical part, and then onboard new team members who could develop the tool. So this is the main.
Who would like to go next? Gleb?
I guess.
Yes, maybe you. We are out of time nearly, but as we had some connection problems hearing Douglas' question, so I believe we can afford one more final question for Saule.
Have you spoken to wise guys? Startup wise guys?
Yes, we did.
Clear.
Well, that was a quick one, to be honest, yeah. Okay.
Great. So thank you, jury, and also I would like to invite all of our viewers to join us on menti.com platform. You see code a couple of times during the pitches, so really join there and give us your vote, or just scan the QR code. And Arvydas, I have a question for you. How would you spend your 100K if you have it as spare money in your pocket?
That's a very hard question. So probably no. Meeting all the startups all the time, so I would probably divide it into 5 parts. And I'm not kind of trying to be kind of, nice here, but I really believe in the startups, and so, that would be my choice.
If you have to pick one from the 5.
Let's consider and talk about it a bit of later, maybe, without all this audience here, so,
Their startups, what I've heard, 20K each from Arvydas. So let's go to the next startup.
Yeah, and the next startup, we have Digital Crops, our friend and our neighbor from Poland. And they're changing the way how the agriculture is working. And here we have Julian, co-founder and CEO. Very calm, very precise, and very firm guy. And actually, probably that's the only way to do this kind of change in this agriculture field. So welcome, Julian, and the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm Julian Chmikevich, and I represent Digital Crops. I'm CEO, and today I will present you our product and solution, which is a platform for end-to-end agriculture management and value chain management and industry digitalization. So being in agri-food industry for the last 6 years and having a really big farmer as a partner and co-founder, we see emerging industry problems like low yields and crop loss. Very often for wholesalers, contracted crops are poor quality and very often below contracted volumes. The whole production is expensive and very often inefficient, and there are way too many middlemen. So what we came up with, so our solution is joins multiple stakeholders in agri-food production. So on one hand, we've got farmers and wholesalers, and on the other hand, we've got the rest of the stakeholders, mainly advisory services, wholesalers, service providers, laboratories. And right now, those two groups are disconnected. So our solution to that and the value we bring is a farm cloud platform. This is application platform. We've got multiple apps on it and dedicated for each of the stakeholders. And we monitor the whole production using sensors from before even seed goes into the ground up to the product distribution. So we enable automation, we enable supplier monitoring and future contracting as well. And most of all, we are connecting those stakeholders to exchange services and data. By doing this, we achieved incredible results on resource efficiency. Basically, we provide positive impact on the environment and on societies. We reduced water usage up to 50%, fertilizer usage to 35%, and pesticide usage to 60%. And to make our work and solution even more impactful, we distribute only for farmers, of course, the farm management platform and crops management software for farmers in freemium model. And as I said, we target the whole industry, so advisory services, service providers, vendors, wholesalers, up to consumers. And the main values we bring to the industry, the whole industry, is of course digitalization and data-driven decision-making at all stages. We bring transparency and traceability and automated traceability for the whole value chain using sensors. We shorten delivery times and chains between farmers, wholesalers, consumers, and we connect services to speed up data and money and service exchange, which is a kind of needed for the whole industry. The market we are targeting, just to give you an insight, we target crop farming, which is about by 2025 will be about $400 billion US, farm management software $4 billion, and connected agriculture $7 billion by 2025. So what is our product strategy? Basically, we provide tools, we connect services, and we position ourselves in the middle. So up to now, we provided tools and solutions for farmers and wholesalers. We've got 6 sensors types working, ingesting the data, and we've got solution to end-to-end production and supplier monitoring. Right now, we're providing services to supporting services like drones, flights, soil sampling, laboratories, and slowly we are transforming our product also to be a kind of e-commerce platform. And just to finish, we've got 3 revenue streams right now. One is sales of sensors and yearly subscription, and we're targeting revenue sharing in the future. And we have a huge market presence in Poland. We just received a 700,000 euro of subsidy for our research project. We've got quite good traction with big brands and companies. So thank you, because my time is over.
Thank you, Julian. And maybe just to add, what's your ask? So you are also raising money, so what's your ask?
Yes. Thank you for the chance. So we are looking for a 1.5 million investment, mainly to accelerate our growth and business development and marketing, and we are looking for strategic investors.
Thank you. So the questions. Gleb, yeah, or it's a fly in your room and you was trying to...
I can if you want. So very quickly, first impressions, very ambitious roadmap you have. Each of those little buckets could be a separate product. So fraud prevention or detection could be solved, for instance, at an Estonian company. Very impressive. So where's the focus? Because I have one of your decks open. Tell me about one of the key customers you're working with right now in Poland or otherwise, and what's the value proposition for them, and how are you monetizing that? So I want to pick a tangible piece that you have right now and maybe kind of dissect it a little bit. If my question is unclear, let me know.
Okay, so right now we are targeting wholesalers and farmers right now, and wholesalers that distribute and buy crops from the farmers. One of our biggest clients is Amplus. He's using our platform to remotely monitor their suppliers, to automate that, to reduce operational cost and risk, because if they don't get crops of the good quality, they will lose their cash flow and they need to buy raw materials on the market. And right now we also partnered with a laboratory and soil sampling company, and we will be connecting farmers to with their services, and we will take commission out of it. So the commission varies, and I'm happy to present details on the Q&A dedicated QA session. I hope.
Any metrics, MR, my apologies, just help me understand. So what Amplus, right? Amplus Solar, if I understand correctly, help me understand here. So what are you generating with them based on this commission model?
Okay, so basically Amplus gets pays us platform fee, and this is the first stage where we at. So we sell them sensors and a platform access fee. And right now we are transforming or enabling revenue sharing and e-commerce. We're not pivoting, but we are enabling connected services. So if you're a farmer, you can buy a service from a service provider or product company. But this is something we are working on and we are trying to raise money for.
Thanks.
Douglas, yeah?
Okay, I'm trying again. So hope it works. So actually, just to continue what Gleb's question was, I'm trying to understand because you have a lot of, let's say, parts that you're looking at, and it's very, very broad. So you need to be careful that you don't go too broad because you can't do everything well, perhaps. But my question is actually, what is your core competency?
Farm management and crops cultivation monitoring remotely based on sensors that basically allows multiple stakeholders to control their production, monitor and the supply production as well. Okay,
so you're talking about the hardware and software surrounding that
Yes,
solution.
Exactly.
That's exactly. Your core competency. Okay, yeah. Got you. Thank you.
Yeah, Rick, we can't hear you if you speak.
Because I was told to mute. So on the sensor side, do you design and manufacture all those sensors? Or is there some combination of supply that you get where you get sensors from others and you bundle them together with your software? How does all that work?
Okay, so up till now, we designed and produced manufactured sensors by ourselves. But we are open for partnerships, so we want to onboard third-party manufacturers sensors as well on the platform, so that we can cover even more and provide even more value to the industry and food production.
And the word sensors is a bit broad as well. The word broad is coming across on a number of the questions. So soil chemistry, weather conditions, moisture content, what kind of, give us a sense for how many sensors or sensor types are involved here.
Okay, starting with soil probing and soil analysis, then through the growing season, like moisture sensors, weather stations, automated, automatically registering agriculture treatments, employee tracking, hardware machinery tracking, then with microclimate monitoring in the warehouse and the storage room, microclimate monitoring in the transportation, and in a few next weeks we're going to introduce also fuel consumption monitoring, because this is quite important to big farmers and the companies. So right now that's why we cover almost everything, every aspect of the production.
May I jump in?
Yeah,
from my
Lisa.
side, I would love to know about your channel distribution. I don't know if you have considering partnering with third parties, like for example, banks. It's something that I have seen from other startups in the same industry that it's quite interesting, you know, because they already have the client you are trying to reach. So I don't know if it's something that you have explored so far.
Yes, so our growth strategy relies on partnerships and selling sensors also through the network. So we don't want to do it all by ourselves. That's why we partnered with we're trying to partner with companies like MasterCard, Microsoft, IBM, and others, and banks as well.
Thank you, Julian, for all the pitch and the answers. And now,
So it's time for our final startup, Cogastro, and Cogastro is really changing our mindsets towards how we grow, consume, and digitalize insects. Also, Cogastro has been recently awarded for the best startup pitch at the Lithuanian Startup Fair, granting them a great visibility and a proposal for solid investment of 100K. Also, we're very proud that that's already a second female founder during this ROCKIT Impact Accelerator. So, Mante, welcome, and please share your slides with us. Yeah, we see the slides. Do we?
Perfect.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, hello everyone. So my name is Mante. I'm CEO and founder at Cogastro. And at Cogastro, very simply speaking, we provide software for insect farms to help them grow more insects faster and with better nutrition value. The team behind our company, so it's me and Artur, my colleague, with 15 years of experience in software engineering. And then we have also Marius on board, who is really huge help for us by also helping to develop and engineer the solution. So today we have, I can even say 9 paying customers, because we just signed the deal today with one more. And as you can see, we're working globally from Nigeria to Australia to Lithuania as well. The problem that we are helping for insect farms to solve is that today they're spending a lot of time and efforts on gathering insect cycle related information, trying to put that all together from different locations by writing it down manually on Excel files, paper sheets. Some of them can be gathered from sensors and so on, and then trying to make sense out of the data so that they would understand how operations should be improved in order to reach better efficiency, meaning the higher yield, lower cost of the production, and so on. So we provide them automated way of data logging through our mobile application, which is based on barcode scanning. Then the solution also can be integrated with external devices and equipment within the farm. And farms store and access the data remotely through our dashboard, where they already can see all summaries and analysis about what's happening in their farms, what are the results, and how they can improve their operations. Customers tell us that we are a game changer by providing accuracy in feed monitoring, securing traceability, and planning their daily work. As you can see, insects, first of all, they're farmed as a source of protein. Then on top, they have additional revenue streams such as frass, which is used for fertilizers, oils, chitin. So and those like application markets are huge. So that's why we started this business in the first place, because we see like huge potential in what insect-derived products will be in the future and how much of those markets, existing ones, they will be taking. So looking at our current customer base and how much companies we're targeting, we are projecting that in a 6 years period, we will generate $100 million annually. And our ambition is, of course, to take at least 80% of the market. So how to get there? So that's simple. The main goal of the solution, because today we are gathering really huge amounts of data from the farms, and it became a time for us to start making more advanced algorithms to support them in their decision making even further. So that's the goal in a couple of years, and the impact that we're actually making, not directly, but through helping insect farms to grow, is that basically while using the solution, they can harvest more and produce more. And by doing that, they can uptake those existing markets, let's say livestock, conventional livestock, and then at least half of the CO2 emissions that is emitted globally today can be cut down. Nice. So we are looking for 500K of investment. More than half of amount is already booked, and we expect to close pretty soon. So if anyone here is interested in what we are doing and is excited the same way as we are, I'm inviting you to join the round. Thank you.
Amazing, Gleb. Thank you very much. Manda, sorry. Do we have questions? Gleb, yeah, you go first.
I know you're investors. Congrats on the startup fair. So 70 Ventures is very, very big in metrics, sales, MRR. I've been looking at your deck. It seems that you've added a few customers over a past span of 4 months. Where's your MRR at right now? If it's not part of your strategy and you're simply collecting the data set, feel free to educate me. But if that's what you're already doing and you're almost committed your round, which is very promising, help me understand how fast you've been growing in that sense. If my question is not clear, let me know.
So regarding the MRR, I would need to estimate as today we just before this call closed one more deal, but before that it was 3,000 monthly recurring revenues. So now it would be around 4,000 monthly recurring revenues.
And you're pre-seed, right? If I recall correctly. So you're raising 500K, was it?
Yeah. Yes.
What's your ambition in the next 6 months or so? I'm very interested in that.
So now we are going to close the deal, build up and upgrade the team with more talents, and then get back there and really take 80% of from the current market by the end of this year. So that's our ambition, and then keep growing together with the market.
Wow, that's some ambition right there. I see why 70 Ventures invested. Very promising. All right, good luck.
Douglas, go next.
So just continue with that question as well. So yeah, 80% is quite ambitious. That's great. How many farms are there out there? Approximately. I mean, you won't have an exact number.
So today we estimated looking at our CRM, and now we are capable to target only English-speaking companies, and this is the something to improve for us, right? To overcome the language barrier. So if we're looking at the English-speaking companies, and now we're targeting only medium and large ones. So we have almost not 400, like I would say 350 companies that we're targeting. Yeah. But
okay,
having in mind that, Yeah.
Yeah, language is one issue, but also geography, because they're scattered everywhere, right? And it's not like you go to Lithuania, there's like 4 in where
Douglas, unfortunately, your network connection inside is no better than outside. But
yeah, but I still would like to answer this question for others,
Yes.
although Douglas most probably cannot hear it. But anyway, I don't see any limitations in geography for us. Our first customer was is still based in Australia. So we never started locally, we started globally. And the only thing that is really important here, like the language. So if we can onboard people who can help us with the, like Spanish-speaking regions, then we can scale even further.
great. So
Okay, thank you.
who would like to go next with a question? Yeah, just shoot the question. Luisa?
Yeah. Hi, so I would love to know more about the profiles you're planning to hire with this investment round, you know, because especially at this stage, I think building a strong team with capacity to scale up the company internationally, you've mentioned recently Spanish-speaking markets. I think that's something very important. So can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, so like roughly speaking on a high level, you know, salespeople, marketing, and engineers. And definitely the data scientist position will be very important for us, but a bit later. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, cool, thank you.
Rick?
Yeah, quick question. One of the aspects of the accelerator program was to engage with pilots specifically, and I'm wondering what did the accelerator do for you, and tell us a little bit about your pilot project.
Oh, thanks a lot. That's a wonderful question. I had to mention it. So we are working with TeleSoftas, one of the biggest IT company here in Lithuania, and what they are doing is basically they helping us to make one of the integrations in our customers' facilities where we're integrating with their external devices to gather environmental parameters data. So now they have all the production data coming in the system, and with our help, like with those integrations, they will see both environment and production. And finally, they can connect it together and see how, you know, how it correlates. So either they having those fluctuations of eggs because it's the temperature too low or too high, or what's happening. So this is what we are doing, and we are very, very close from the release of this functionality.
Cool, thank you.
Unfortunately, some technical error. We cannot see the hands raising, so if you have a question, just shoot.
I guess the time is over.
The time is over, yeah. So I guess, Arvidas, if we had the category for the most ambitious startup, Mante would definitely get this award together with the Cogastro team.
Yeah, thank you, Mante. And so that was all 5 startup pitches we want to show today, but the event is not over yet. So while the jury will go to the different room to discuss and give nominations, while the investors will meet startups on speed dating, the ones who are watching it through live stream will have a possibility to watch a really nice fireside chat between 2 kind of really nice and promising, I would say, speakers. So first of all, it's Unicorn from Estonia, Skeleton Technologies, and also it's a partner from Catalysta Ventures, Alex. So the floor is yours, Alex.
Excellent. So thank you very much, Sharune and Arvidas. And let's continue with the next session today. And here we are. I'm very, very pleased to have with me Arnaud Castagnier, who's Head of Communications and Policy at Skeleton Technologies. So very warm welcome to you, Arnaud.
Hello, Alex, and thank you very much for inviting me for this chat.
Happy to be here with you. And yes, I'm Alex Gibb, and I'm a partner at Catalyst Ventures. And the topic of today's fireside chat is to understand how to become an impact unicorn. So I think first of all, for a lot of people, some people might not be familiar with Skeleton Technologies. So Arnaud, could you just tell us a little bit about Skeleton Technologies and what exactly you do, please?
So Skeleton Technologies is a company founded in Estonia. It has been founded in 2009. So we are already a bit older than most of the startups. And we are a manufacturer of ultra capacitors. So of course, the first question would probably be, what are ultra capacitors? And basically, ultra capacitors are energy storage technologies that are used in different applications in the automotive sector, transportation sector, and renewable. And basically, it helps companies to save energy and facilitate decarbonization and electrification. So Skeleton Technologies is a technology leader in the energy storage sector.
Fantastic. And my sort of first question that comes to mind when I hear that is, one, maybe about the decarbonization of the planet. So how important was actually having an impact on reducing carbon when you started?
So Skeleton Technologies literally started thanks to the advancement in nanomaterials and the development of one specific, which is actually our patented technology, which is called curved graphene. So sector and renewable, and basically it helps companies to save energy and facilitate decarbonization and electrification. So Skeleton Technologies is a technology leader in the energy storage sector.
Fantastic. And my sort of first question that comes to mind when I hear that is, one, maybe about the decarbonization of the planet. So how important was actually having an impact on reducing carbon when you started?
So Skeleton Technologies literally started thanks to the advancement in nanomaterials and the development of one specific, which is actually our patented technology, which is called curved graphene. So it's Skeleton Technologies is a kind of startup that is directly based on our core technology, and all of the applications for these technologies are really aimed at facilitating development of decarbonization and electrification. So this has been like the core topic of the company, and it's literally the DNA of the company. So the company was based on this, was a very strong industrial mindset, because I mean, as you know, when you manufacture energy storage devices, you manufacture hardware. So you had to combine the mindset of a startup together with this really strong industrial expertise and mindsets. But this is how all the things like Green Deal, etc., are really going to be achieved by adding the advantages of both sides.
Fantastic. And you know, when you talk about the startup mindset, you know, something that we face every day with the startups that we're working with is this sense of product market fit. Mm-hmm. So you're creating something cool, but you know, is somebody actually interested in buying it, and do they want to use it? So what were the challenges that you faced at the start when trying to get the customers on board to buy the storage?
So it's basically it's kind of a chicken and egg issue, because when you develop this kind of technology, which is seen to be which is extremely innovative, and which hasn't been really done in the past. I mean, not with this kind of nanomaterial. The key issue is to get the first clients. But in order to get the first clients, you have to have the product. But to have the product, you need to be able to manufacture it. So you need your manufacturing site, meaning that you need investment in it. So it's really this chicken and egg issue, meaning that it has been, of course, very challenging in the early days of the companies to manage to convince clients, investors, and basically everyone about the fact that this technology could be a real game changer in the energy storage technologies. So it took us basically 2 years before getting a first famous and well-known customer for our product, which was the European Space Agency. So it really helped us then to get a lot of visibility and credibility when we managed to be able to say that, oh, we've got this very credible customer, and they trust us, and please now you need to pay attention to what we're doing.
And that's, I mean, that sounds really exciting. A, that you have the patents, and you know, B, it's a new and exciting technology. And you know, again, I think you've outlined a lot of these challenges that startups face when it's sort of chicken and egg. You know, either is the product there, does someone want to buy it, do you build it and then hope someone comes? So it sounds like partnerships have been pretty important in building that trust and getting that sense of belief in the company. Can you mention any other partnerships apart from the space agency that have been important in really getting the business going and scaling?
Yeah, so partnerships are incredibly important for us, of course, and by partnership we mean with a very large range of stakeholders. So of course with customers, but I mean this is the same issue for everyone building a business. But on our side, given that we are really science-based and research-based, we had also to do a lot of partnerships together with universities, for instance. And this is extremely critical in all of the technologies and in all of the companies in deep tech or in sustainability. I mean, first you need to work really closely with the universities. So we have a network of partners among universities, both in Germany and Estonia. In Germany, because we have our manufacturing site there, and we really leverage on the local expertise in energy storage technologies. I mean, battery sector is really important in Germany, the automotive sector as well. So it really helped us to be really close to these research centers and universities. But in addition to that, and maybe this is a bit more specific for this kind of hardware companies like ours, we also have been successful in building partnerships together with public institutions, including public investors. So we were happy to receive the support of organizations such as the European Investment Bank or the European Institute of Technology, Energy, and other similar organizations. For us, it has been really important because these are the kind of organizations that can really think in terms of really long term, and they can support the development of these kind of technologies, which are only going to generate a great return on investments after several years, because we're talking about long development process. So yeah, partnerships have been really critical for us with universities, with public and private investors, and of course with our customers. We always work really closely with them to really tailor-make the product we provide.
That's been a really nice overview of those partnerships. So thanks very much for sharing that. You've talked a little bit about decarbonization and that being something really important for you and the company at the start. With Catalyst Ventures, we focus on what we call triple top line impact. So it's making sure that we have a positive impact on people, on the planet, and on profit as well. So you've also just mentioned returns. So there's obviously a financial return in it for investors. And I think a lot of people who are kind of new to the area of impact investing are still, perhaps a little bit skeptical that it's possible to do something good and make money. So, is Skeleton Technologies not just doing something good, but making money as well?
Yes. So unlike many companies in the energy storage and battery sector, we are already generating revenue. And we actually tripled our revenue for the second year in a row. So yes, it's possible to generate revenue, not only when you work on sustainability, but also when you develop products that are really focused on science and innovation. So of course, as I mentioned, the company has been created in 2009. So of course, it took some time to convince. Not only to convince customers, but also to become efficient enough to be able to generate, to really have excellent financials. So it takes some time, of course. It takes some time to build a product, to find the market fit. However, not only it's possible, but it's going to become more and more common nowadays. Since everyone knows here that the economy is really having some really massive changes, with sustainability becoming a priority, not only for investors but for customers in general and for every level of the economy. So there will be more and more clean tech giants in the future. More and more unicorn in the clean tech sector, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to see the era of decacon emerging, with a lot coming from the clean tech sector.
Fantastic. And again, if I understand correctly, you're a listed company. You're actually publicly traded.
Not yet.
Still not yet. Okay. So people can't actually go away at the end of this session and put their money on Skeleton Technologies, right?
No.
But is it public? Do you have plans to go public?
I think it's natural stage of development for any company. So to eventually become public, or so it's not in our immediate plans right now. We still have a lot of things to work on before that. However, I think any entrepreneur launching a company and being successful think about the things. So maybe in the future, but not right now.
Sure, understand. And it would have been just fun to see when people actually ready to go and put their money straight on Skeleton Technologies at the end of this session. So if we come back to the 3 Ps, we've talked about the profits. Let's move on next then to the planet. You talked about decarbonization, do you measure your impact on the planet, and what kind of impact are we actually talking about here?
Well, when we talk about the impact of skeleton technologies, so of course, I mean, the way we run and manage a company is one thing. I mean, we try to make sure that our own impact is, our own environmental impact is limited. But the technology that we develop is actually what makes the biggest impact, of course, in the long term. Because when we help electric vehicles to function, or when we help grid network to get energy from wind power, from renewables in general, when we help tramways or buses, or including hydrogen buses, we are helping all these technologies to be developed. The thing is that if we really want to manage the environmental transition and decarbonization, there are a lot of enabling technologies that are going to be necessary, because we cannot switch to a decarbonized economy just by shaking our hands or something. We need to have a lot of technologies around, and truck capacitors and current graphic technologies are going to be, and are already one of these enabling technologies. So this is how we are really having an impact. So when entrepreneurs develop, think about impact startups to develop, they really need to think about at which level they can really achieve an impact. It may not be directly from making renewable energy, for instance. It can come from a very different level. The thing that many people are sometimes not aware of is that when you want to reduce carbon emissions in the economy, actually most of the carbon emissions come from sectors such as industrial sectors, or come from the way that we generate electricity. So at every level, there are some carbon emissions to be reduced, meaning that technologies will be needed, innovation will be needed, and of course there will be innovative startups to build around those.
Super, and some really good insights there, and of food for thought for startups to reflect on as well. So energy storage, actually reducing energy, decarbonizing the economy. These are all the kind of the positive. This is the positive impact essentially that you're having on that. I'm just wondering as well, I mean, do you report on this publicly? Is this is there public information around the amount of energy that's saved, or the amount of energy that is, I guess, saved as a result of your more efficient storage?
Yes, so it's something that we try to do quite often. I mean, not only from a PR perspective, but also, I mean, this is how we can convince more and more customers to choose our own products. So, for instance, we communicate very regularly on the fact that, for instance, our truck capacitors can have 60 times more power density than batteries, for instance, or that for some projects related to tramways in Germany, it really reduces the amount of energy that were used by 30%. So we try to really highlight the way our products really help other companies to reduce energy and to save energy and to reduce the carbon emissions. So this is something that we need to highlight very often, because this is how you then compete. I mean, when we provide technologies that are directly linked to decarbonization and electrification, you need to be able to show credentials, and you need to be able to show that your product can generate even fewer carbon emissions and generate more energy savings.
And that sounds really, really impressive on its own. Hey, we're a profitable company and we're reducing, emissions by 30% or whatever that is for the different products. So this is a fantastic message, and really, really encouraging and inspiring to hear for us listening in as well. Super. So we've talked about the profit, we've talked about the planet, and what about people? So I'm wondering, to what extent is this having a positive impact for clients? But also for employees. So, is it easier to attract people to come and work for you because you're doing something that's good, something that's, changing the world and having a positive impact on the world? And are there any other impacts on humans that you think of?
Yeah. So this is actually really a way that we attract new talents. I mean, there's a global competition for talents, including 4 companies based like us, both in Germany and Estonia. I mean, there are a lot of companies that can say that, oh, join us and you're going to contribute to change the world. And a lot of companies can say this, but indeed, all of the new hirings that we do are based on the fact that these people are passionate about the fight against climate change and the journey towards electrification and decarbonization. This is one of the key values that we try to really emphasize on, is that if you join Skeleton, you're going to be able to have direct impact, whether you are engineer, whether you are a marketing specialist or sales specialist. You're going to have some very concrete impact on reducing carbon emissions. So this is one of the key selling points for us for attracting new talents. But another important feature, of course, are the company values. And then, of course, we need to live up to these values. And for us, this is very important that people have the right attitude when joining the company, and they're really not only willing to make an impact, but also getting things done, pushing boundaries, and of course using good judgment.
Fantastic, and I think you've summed it up there as well really nicely with the global competition for talent, and there are more and more people we see who really want to work and spend their lives working for companies that they can believe in. It's not I'm turning up for a paycheck. I'm turning up because I want to change the world. I want to have an impact. I want to do something good. I want to feel that I'm living and expressing what's important to me. So this is really great example as well. So thanks for sharing that. So summarizing that part, then again, it's this sense of people, planet, profit. With Catalyst Ventures, we really focus on what we call these triple top line companies that have this impact on positive impact on people, planet, and profit. And it's fantastic to hear an example of a real company who's doing this at scale and really growing and growing nicely. So I guess the question is sort of what's next? You've talked a little bit about perhaps going public one day, but what else is in the pipeline in the coming years? What's ahead of us?
So in the coming years, I mean, the most of the plans for Skeleton Technology are related to development of new products and new generation of product, because I mean, it's a sector in which you have to innovate because it can become obsolete very quickly, actually. So we had our first generation of ultracapacitors. Now we're launching a second generation of ultracapacitors with much better performance, with more power density and energy density, because those are the two most important things in our sector: power density and energy density. Also, our devices will be allowed to be also smaller and easier to produce. And then we are working already on the third generation of products, which will eventually bridge the gap between things like devices like lithium-ion batteries and ultracapacitors. And ideally, what we really want to achieve is to be able to combine the advantages of both technologies. So it's always an ongoing process. I mean, we're never going to stop innovating. Every time we launch product, we have to think about the next generation of products, because then it opens a wide range of new applications, meaning bigger markets, of course. So we keep innovating, and this is what we are. In all of our development plans, they're all about innovation.
And again, another great message for our startups and our audience. Keep innovating, keep creating, keep bringing new products to market, and this is the way to be resilient and adapt and thrive within your ecosystem as well. So this is really cool to hear. Really cool to hear. So thanks for sharing that. And then I think if we look a little bit further forward, I mean, I'm a big believer personally in abundance. So I think if we look at trends over time of sort of costs of energies and availability of energy supply and so on, what are the other sort of mega trends or big things you see happening in the whole energy sector more globally? I mean, maybe it's fossil fuels, maybe it's more on renewables. What are the big shifts that are coming? and what do you see there, if anything?
Yeah, well, for us, of course, the biggest transformation we're seeing right now is in the automotive sector and the shift to electric vehicles, which is actually going much faster than a lot of analysts were expecting in the past. But now we see all of the main, all of the top manufacturers that have decided to move into progressively shift their production into fully electric vehicles or hybrid, etc. But this is going to be a major change because we're talking about probably one of the biggest industries in the world, which is undertaking a massive change, meaning that I mean, if you want electric vehicles, you need also to have the right energy storage devices. You need to have basically you need to change the entire supply chain. So this is extremely exciting to see the development of electric vehicles and how it's really disrupting an entire industry and all the supply chain involved. So for us, this is probably the most radical change that we're seeing. And of course, then if you take it from a point of view of energy producers, it means that electricity will have to be produced. At some point. We have to be produced in a decarbonized way, because of course it wouldn't make sense if we would decarbonize automotive by developing electric vehicles. But if this electricity is produced from carbonized sources, it wouldn't make any sense. So of course, together with development of electric vehicles, development of the renewable energy sector or decarbonized energy sector is extremely exciting as well. So these are the two biggest trends that we're seeing, for which there are a lot of opportunities coming for startups and for investors.
Fantastic, really nice summary there, and I think a lot of us, people watching in today will also really, believe and be inspired and pretty excited about the future of electric vehicles. And
yeah. And for a company like Skeleton, it's just perfect because coincidentally, we are providing energy storage devices both for the electric vehicle sector and for the renewables. So the kind of energy storage technologies are going to become and now already becoming totally critical to achieve those two evolutions that I mentioned. So that's why we're seeing very exciting times there.
And I think this is another great message for startups, about putting yourself in the right place at the right time, and then it's all about execution and making that happen from here. So sounds like you have a really exciting journey ahead.
Yes, a very busy one, but very exciting one as well. But I guess it's normal for any startup.
Absolutely. So I guess that brings us to the end of our session today. Arnaud Castagnier from Skeleton Technologies. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you and to talk about this bright future. I think this is really good. I think sustainability is often sort of too much focused on the negatives. Stop driving a car, stop printing paper, stop doing this and that. And you've given us a fantastic summary today and fantastic opportunity for us to understand that you can make a financial return, you can have an impact on decarbonizing the planet, you can attract scarce global talent to do good, and this is leading us to a very exciting future, especially in the automotive area, but beyond. So we wish you the very best of luck. Thanks again for your time, and we'll continue back in the studio. Thank you
very much. Bye-bye.
So hello everyone again, and welcome back to the studio where me and Arvidas were keeping the spots for you in the awards ceremony. So we hope you had an interesting time watching Alex and Arnold discussion. As well, our investors had available time with startups in private meeting rooms. So our jury took so much time in actually trying to find who will be the winners for all of the 5 categories. Let's remember what they are. So we are selecting the most scalable, the most disruptive, the most impactful startup. We are also looking for the best product and for the best pilot project that was made during the accelerator program. So let's invite our jury once again on the screens, as they are really impatiently to share who will be the winners of ROCKIT Impact Accelerator.
Yeah, and probably the long time for jury means that we had lots of discussions and we wanted to kind of, we have different opinions. Probably we were fighting a lot and so on. So I see that, Gleb is still alive. So yeah, it seems that he's okay. So Gleb, here are you, and we want you to announce the most scalable startup. So the floor is yours. Sorry, you are muted.
Back in black. Thank you from the studio, guys. It's been a good conversation, a very civil conversation. And so I will keep it short, guys. Data is the name of the game. Data that solves cases for across retail down to government. It allows people to get insights. Back when I was working in an investment firm, this was one of the aspects we really needed to actually plan anything from commercial to residential. So shortly put, Datahood has been voted one of the most scalable projects, one of the most promising projects in this regard. I wish them great speed to onboard in Q4 of this year and to bring in more retail projects, more successful pilots like with Telia, and they definitely have an impressive team. So congratulations, guys. Datahood. A little hand of applause here on my end.
Thank you, Gleb, and congratulations to Datahood team.
Congratulations. So let's move to the second category, which is the best pilot, and B2B pilots were one of the most important highlights of this accelerator. And to announce the winner, I'll ask Luisa to help us out. So which startup made the best pilot?
I'll actually take that on.
Yeah,
go on.
So it was not a civil conversation. We were fighting, and I wanted to present best pilot. So here we go. And I totally agree that really the main driving force behind acceleration programs like this is to set up and run successful pilots. And so we had a long and extended conversation about each and every one of them, and got the opinion of some of the people at ROCKIT to get even more background. And at the end of that discussion, what we were really impressed by, and who I'd like to announce as the winner of Best Pilot, is Digital Crops. So Digital Crops did an excellent job working together with Linas Agro, one of the biggest companies in the region, on a wide variety of projects within a project. So congratulations to both, and congratulations to Digital Crops, as well as the other prize winner, which is the corporate partner, Linas Agro.
Congratulations. So let's move on to the best product.
Yeah, and I guess that for the best product, we will ask Luisa, unless you did something for Luisa and we don't have her anymore.
Yeah. So hello, guys. Okay, so I would love to highlight that despite we have some discussion, with certain categories, in this particular one, the best product, all of the jury members agree that the winner should be Earthbanc. So congratulations, guys. You did a really good job and we are very much impressed. So thank you and congratulations.
Amazing.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, yeah.
Team Earthbanc could also get an award for the best managed international team, right? How many countries were involved in the calls?
A lot, yeah.
Quite a few. So let's move to the most disruptive one. And Douglas, on this, we will ask for your help.
Okay. Well, we had a long discussion about this as well. And since this is one of the most important categories in the impact world, and one of the companies here is one that is represents an industry that's not well represented out there, and has, say, a lot of competition. I grew up near Hollywood, so I'm getting the Hollywood envelope, please. Here's the envelope, and the winner is. It's not. Sorry, it's a bad flyer, but Cogastro. Cogastro is the winner of the most disruptive.
Congratulations. Yeah, really awesome achievement. And
the last but not the least, definitely, and we left it for the last because we kind of, thought that it could sum up everything, and we asked Greta Monstavice, CEO and co-founder of Catalysta Ventures, to present it. So most impactful startup, Greta, the floor is yours.
Hi everyone, I'm so happy to present the most impactful startup. When we were scouting, all of the startups were scouted based on impact, but we do have this nomination, and all the jury members agreed that the most impactful startup is about something that we all use every day, which is energy and electricity and L-Blocks. I'm so happy to announce that you're the most impactful startup of the ROCKIT Impact Accelerator. Congratulations.
Well, that's awesome. 5 different awards and 5 winners from each category.
That's kind of diverse team, it seems. Yes. So thank you and congratulations, L-Blocks team.
Congratulations. So congratulations for all of the teams, and for your achievements, we have prepared special prizes. Actually, the most sustainable ones we could find on the whole planet Earth. And as we all know, there are no better presents than worth to keep memories spent exploring. That's why we would like to give you a package of diverse experiences, of over 600 experiences worldwide that you can choose from tingly.com. What is more, they have set 200% of all the experiences that you will have, and for each package they will fish 5 kilograms of plastic from the ocean. Isn't it great, Arvidas?
Amazing.
I would
amazing.
love to join them on one of those experiences for sure.
Maybe we will invite us, yeah, who knows?
Who knows? We've been great partners on this project. So we hope you enjoy it, and we'll have some great, remarkable memories with your friends and family, and of course some relaxing time after such an intensive accelerator program.
And we also have one more thing, actually. People who are watching us, they're calling us, writing us, going to the Menti and so on, and lots of kind of thousands of votes we have, and it took a while to count everything. But we can announce who is the winner of public, who public decided that that's the greatest pitch they saw today. And
maybe we can share how much money, virtual money, they have raised.
Yeah. Let's share, shall we?
So that's 1,700,000 virtual cash goes to...
Kind of amazing, goes to Datahood team. So congratulations, Datahood. And one more prize we have here, and which is amazing prize, to be honest, because you have a possibility to meet Bill Gates. Actually, it will be a virtual meeting because you can be able to read his book. That's kind of a prize we have. His book, and yeah, amazing one, also related to sustainability with lots of insights. And this is a great guy, so I guess that you will be able to read it and share it between you. So thank you and congratulations.
So we hope you share the best memories from meeting him together with us. So our event is coming to an end, so I would like to take an opportunity to thank one more time for all the startups that participated and pitched today, for all the partners that contributed with their challenges, for all the mentors that spent enormous hours in coaching our program participants, as well for all the sustainability enthusiasts who join us on this very impactful and very important journey, transforming mindsets, transforming societies, and the way we live. Also, this accelerator is a result that you can lead by example, and that innovation will be one of the main driving forces for us reaching our sustainability goals. And today we are closing just one chapter, and I believe it's just the beginning for us on our planet positive impact journey.
And just from my point of view, I was thinking how to end this, from kind of what to say in the end, and I thought about few quotes. Probably I will give both of them. So first of all, I mean, one kind of investor from Estonia recently shared a kind of really interesting thing, and he said that running a startup is like kayaking, kind of 2-day trip. So it's 1 hour of joy and fun, and then it's a lot of work. So that's probably what is waiting for startups. But also another quote I also heard during this kind of accelerator, which I loved and which I'm using a lot right now. And with this question, I want to end this kind of session today. So the question is, are you brave enough to put sustainability agenda before your business goals? So thank you, everyone.
So this is also not a showstopper for us. We'll continue working and supporting sustainability-driven startups. So stay tuned for upcoming ROCKIT projects and even ROCKIT Impact Accelerator #2.
Yeah.
So good luck, guys. Thank you for joining us today, and let's stay in touch.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, I guess.